You know, it's okay if Spider-Man's not super attached in. He doesn't slip anyway. He could just shoot webs if this thing starts crapping out. Why be easy when you can just die? Woo! Wow, I'm Chewy Mew. Welcome back to Venom Month, the day number 28. Where yes, Venom Month is still going. It is May, and yeah, I know Venom Month should have finished in March, but Venom Month is going to go on until I feel like it's been completed. There's been events that have occurred that have made it hard for me to make videos, but we're back and we're in strong form with the ToyBiz Spider-Man Classics Black Costume Spider-Man with missile launching action. I did a poll on YouTube, a YouTube community poll or whatever it's called, voting between which figures I should get. This one, a ToyBiz Madam Web, or the Marvel Legends Spider-Punk. And you guys voted for this one, which honestly, I kind of wanted this one the most out of all of them. Between Spider-Punk or between the three, I wanted Madam Web and this guy the most. Unfortunately, getting Madam Web is out of the question now because someone bought the cheapest one there is, and now the next cheapest one is like $30, which, yeah, so I do have the Spider-Man Origins version, which is Hasbro's first ever line of making Spider-Man figures, was just repainting a bunch of ToyBiz figures, which is, you know, a great sign to come. But either way, as far as it goes, this figure, it's still good. I did have one that I got in 2006, like original. I got it in stores in 2006 from KB Toys, actually. And it's suffered a bunch of loose joints and some broken joints, similar to my first ever Spider-Man figure, who has quite a lot of loose joints. It wasn't this loose, but all the logo, including the eyes, spider logo, basically all that survived was like a couple parts of the spider legs and then the dots on the hands. All the other paint apps were pretty much gone. But we're going to be taking a look at the ToyBiz one, which, as far as the articulation, it's going to be identical as the Hasbro one. The only issue with this figure, we're going to open it like this, is that he has what's the word, oops, I cut that too far. That's okay. I'm trying to do this method so I don't damage the card back. The only negative of this figure is the ab crunch is a little unfortunate. Okay, boom, we got it, I think, maybe. Yeah, you guys don't see this in other reviewers, but I make these sacrifices. Oh man, I didn't cut this very last part. Okay. You know, this is one of, I remember there was a time on YouTube when people would do reviews, and like part one, back when you couldn't upload like 20-minute videos or whatever, part one would just be them like opening up the figure, and then part two would be them actually reviewing it. And ooh, here we go. I don't remember if you can do this with ToyBiz figures, if you could just pull them out. Oh yeah, you can. Oh, yeah, I don't know if that worked with ToyBiz figures. I actually haven't tried this method before. Most times I just cut the whole thing off. But that works. Let's also take a moment to appreciate that, like, art a little bit they did on the back. And then you got, like, the sort of vaguely 2000s era Spider-Man. It's black on the picture, but the original one in real life, or the actual one in real life, is red. And same thing up here. And the other figures in the wave, you get Cyber Spider-Man, which is one of my favorite figures. Secret Identity Spider-Man, which I kind of want. Ultimate Rhino, which I have. And I customized the legs, because this original one, they only kick forward and back like this. You can't do the splits. Then there's a read-up here, which is just sort of a generic Spider-Man read-up. A comic book icon worldwide, Spider-Man's message is clear. With great power comes great responsibility. For over 30 years, Peter Parker, an ordinary boy transformed into an extraordinary hero from the bite of a radioactive spider, has thrilled fans of all ages. Through all of Spider-Man's exciting adventures and sensational battles with sinister supervillains, young Peter Parker still relates to as many fans as he tries to maintain some semblance of a normal life. If you look at the Spider-Man body here, he has a really huge neck joint right there. Like, you can see how deep the neck joint is, but on the actual figure, or the Hasbro one, it's not nearly as pronounced. So that's kind of weird. You just push it. Oh, it's kind of hooked there. Hey, look at that web accessory there. That looks pretty cool. Hold it like that. Look at that. That looks really cool. It's not completely white, which is kind of weird. As far as this thing goes, oh, two separate pieces. Oh, this is like the strap you put on to hold Spider-Man to it. So the Hasbro version did also come with this. So, you know, obviously the ToyBiz one comes with it because this one came first. You can close the things like that, and then how do you open it? Do you push the button? I don't know. I haven't engaged with this one in several years. I don't remember the Hasbro one being this kind of quality, you know? Like this fabric material feels pretty good quality, which is Kind of weird. When after I do the review, I'm probably going to put this back in the box, just so, like, to keep it from getting dusty and stuff. How do you put this in here? I'm trying to put this... Which way does this go? Do you hold this down and put it in? And then... Oops, I think I messed it up. Hang on, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So after trying it for a little bit, I couldn't get it to shoot. And what I noticed works is if you twist it. Hang on. If you twist it, and then it shoots. As far as Black Suit Spider-Man, let's get them out of the packaging. So we got some of these classic twist ties, as you do. Some people don't like these, which I think they're fine. They're interesting. I also used to be a speedrunner when it came to untwisting these things, because Power Rangers, most toys in the early 2000s had these. I don't know if 90s figures had them, because I haven't really unboxed any 90s figures. Except maybe from Power Rangers as a kid, if I got some, like, at a thrift store or whatever, new. Or occasionally you'd find, like, some 90s toy at, like, Walmart, even though it's, like, 2004 or whatever. But yeah, these twist ties used to be a speedrunner to these, because pretty much all Power Rangers and figures that I got at the time had them. And boom, there he is. It's also super hype when you take these off and then you get to feel the figure for the first time. And he does feel, right off the bat, he does feel quite a lot higher quality compared to this guy. There's already fuzz on his body somehow. But look at that. Look at that. That looks so good. He looks really good. And the ab crunch, like I said, the ab crunch is a little unfortunate. Let's test the joints here. Make sure everything's going to work and not going to break horrendously. Okay, if I break some of the joints, I'm going to be super angry. His joints feel really, really good. Like, they feel very stiff in a good kind of way. You know, they're not, like, super stiff. They feel like you're going to break it. They're stiff, but it feels like good stiffness, you know? The waist swivel, ab crunch, ball joint torso that admittedly doesn't really do much. It basically just rotates, which, I mean, that is something. Just making sure all the joints here work, so if they break, I know to be upset for the rest of the day. This upper neck joint is kind of tight right there. Butterfly joints work. Bicep swivel. Rotation. This is technically articulation too as well. We could consider it. Double joint elbow. That joint's tight as well. Finger joints. Well, not individual finger joints. Unfortunately, he doesn't have it. If he did, that would be really good. He just has like fist hands that are pretty cool. This arm looks like it could pop off. I'm not going to do that though, because that would maybe break it. And let's not risk breaking this figure that I just opened. So this figure, I learned from the Hasbro one, actually has armpit joints that don't come out. Yeah, they go out like about that far, but I don't know. It feels like ToyBiz didn't properly design those to come out of the shoulders. Or, yeah, to come out of the chest part, actually. Like, I don't know, glossy? I don't know. Something about the two looks different. I do prefer the white spider logo on this one compared to this one. This one does look taller, but that's just because I customized the ab crunch. And you can see the ab crunch. That's the only issue with the figure. That's my modified ab crunch, and this is the official one, how good the official one bends. If we straighten his legs all the way back, and then we bend the ab crunch. Bend the ab crunch on this one. That's the only issue with this figure, is that the ab crunch kind of sucks. And then as far as going back, the customized one goes farther back. Honestly, they go back kind of the same. But that's the only issue with this figure, is that the ab crunch is a little unfortunate. Then the ball joint is also kind of unfortunate. So you don't get a ton of movement here, which sucks, because this is like we only got 2 Black Suit Spider-Man figures, 6-inch scale by ToyBiz, so that's a bit unfortunate. But he looks really good. He looks really cool. The joints being tight on this are also really nice, because his ab joint isn't loose, but if you shake it, it does wiggle. But this is really nice. I really like it. If you take a look at the head sculpt here, or the face, not really any sculpt. There's no sculpting on this guy, but the face looks really good. He's big eyes, and the eyes they're not identical, but they are very similar to the Series 1 Black Suit Spider-Man. If we look at the 2 eyes like this together, if we put them like this, if we line up their faces like they're making out, you can see the eye shape is different on these two. They both look really good. And here's the spider logo. It is a little messy in parts. It looks like they kind of spray painted it on. It looks clean in parts, but just right there on like those two middle legs, it looks kind of funky. The one in the back came out clean. Even when you move the butterfly joints, they did paint it all the way through, but when you have his arms in a relaxed position, the webs look good. And then, but yeah, I don't know why they gave him a ball joint torso if pretty much that's all this does. Basically just that rotation, which is kind of weird. I thought it was loose, but no, it's fine. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then he also has the white squares on his hands with a very tiny black dot, which the Hasbro version does not have. So for me, I'm going to use this as the cloth version, and this is going to be the actual symbiote, which I think it looks really good. It looks really nice. Look at that. It looks very black and glossy. I like symbiotes being super glossy, and this isn't the kind of glossy that makes it look like Hasbro's cheapy plastic. It looks like glossy, but good. It's weird. It's hard to explain. Sometimes glossy stuff looks plasticky. Other times it doesn't. And this spider logo has some like paint chipping there or something. It looks really cool though. We can shoot that thing. It makes me flinch every time because I feel like it's going to bounce back and get me. And I've noticed if you twist this, you plug it in and twist it, it shoots. Let's see if we can get Spider-Man hooked up to this thing. I'll take that out for now.
Let's see if we can get Spider-Man strapped in here. I'm pretty sure these ones go on the bottom and the others go on the top. This is kind of tricky here. Okay, after probably about 5 minutes, I finally managed to get the straps on. And that's a lot harder than it should be, honestly. Just because it's really hard to squeeze these parts in. If my hands were small, like if I was like a 6 or 7 year old kid with, you know, not adult hands, it probably would have been easier to put them on here. Because I don't have big hands. It's just that this is incredibly tricky to do with, you know, not kid hands. Come on, the camera keeps unfocusing. Come on, I'm trying to get his fingers wrapped around here. Yeah, you can get him grabbing this bar with his fingers bent in. And then we get these other fingers in. This is really difficult. I'm never going to put him in this thing again. And if I do, I'm probably just going to not strap him in this securely. You know, it's okay if Spider-Man's not super attached in. He doesn't slip anyway. He could just shoot webs if this thing starts crapping out. Boom. And there we go. We can get this flap down there. And then you can open up the parachute part. And then you have Spider-Man.
That looks really cool. Honestly, you got to admit, that's a really cool accessory. And then you can put this in here. And then I noticed if you twist it, hang on, if you twist it, there we go. Sometimes it shoots if you just put it in and press it, doesn't shoot, but it feels like you gotta have it lined up a certain way. Okay, and so let's see if he can take out a villain with this. And boom! Missed. Come on, I'm not gonna stop this until we do it. Ready? Boom, there we go. Took him down, first try. But yeah, so this missile backpack thing is pretty cool, for being honest. That's really cool. Let's see if we can take Spider-Man out of here. Like, say he's got to get off of this thing and, you know, do some web swinging. Unfortunately, the actual gliding, like if you throw him, it's just gonna go boom, faceplant, and take massive amounts of damage by hitting the ground. This is the kind of stuff I would do as a kid. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna use this web backpack for like this one fight scene, and then it doesn't work that good, so I'm gonna you know, get out of here. Then you can just slide his arms through this. Come on, dude, get out of here. Okay, yeah, it's kind of tricky to actually get him off of the thing without loosening the straps, but there you go. And I feel like this should extend out more. It looks like these should go farther out, shouldn't they? And I feel like that's as far out as they go, and then you can fold them in, and then you can, like, it'd be cool if it had a hole so you could mount it on the wall or something. But yeah, that's you know, definitely a ToyBiz style accessory. That it's weird that the Hasbro, when they re-released this figure, or when they repainted this figure and re-released it, they actually kept the accessories with it, which is kind of weird. But either way, let's go over the articulation on this guy. So the head can look up pretty much all the way. I suppose right there. It can look down all the way. You also have a rotation here at the start of his neck, which is kind of tight. And you also have one at the base of the neck, which allows you to sort of have his head at different angles like this, which is pretty good. The arms go up all the way. Pretty much all the way. Not completely all the way because the way the butterfly joints are done, but, you know, basically all the way. They go all the way around. You can bend them. Using the butterfly joint, his arms can bend in this far, and they can go back that far. So not a ton of movement there on the butterfly joint, but it's decent. Rotation here in the upper arm. You get a double bend in the elbow, rotation here in the glove, a hinge in the wrist. You can make a fist with his hand. You can have an open hand, and you could extend the fingers out like this for like a wall crawling hand, I guess. You get an upper ball joint torso that I wouldn't recommend tightening or spinning it too much because you might get it loose. I know on the Hasbro one, if you spin it too much, it gets loose, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. The ab crunch, unfortunately, is the only issue with the articulation, that that's how far forward it goes. It goes back quite a good amount, and it goes forward not really much. The back is good, the forward is good. You know, if you could rotate this all the way around without the fear of, you know, damaging it, which, I mean, I guess you can. You could rotate these and then bend the ab crunch and you get like some more movement. You do have a six-pack on his back, but if you do it a certain way, like you have him like in the air like this, it's not that bad. It does look kind of bad though, admittedly. So I'm not going to do that. Oh, and it doesn't get super loose like the Hasbro. The Hasbro one gets loose really easily. You also got a waist swivel here. He can do the splits. He can kick up a little bit, like, yeah, but slightly above 90 degrees. Can't go back much. You do have rotation here in the upper thigh. You double bend in the knee. Rotation here in the boot. The foot goes forward that far. Goes back that much. The toe bends up and it bends down. And the feet don't have peg holes, unfortunately. But it does say right here, Made in China. And the other one says 2004, Marvel Entertainment, ToyBiz Worldwide, 2004. But as far as that goes, I think this figure is really good. It's like a 24-minute video. You know, but that's okay. It's almost the same length as like the Snapshot Spider-Man. Although that guy does come with more stuff. But either way, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about this figure, and I will see you guys in the next review. Wow!